So today we're going to talk about bad incidents, what they are, how to describe them, how to say what happened, and how to survive that conversation without freezing up. Because real English isn't just small talk and sunny days. It's this too.
Welcome back, dear students. You're listening to Easy English Space, and I'm really glad you're here today. I'm Henry.
And I'm Julia. And honestly, today's episode is one of those ones that might feel a little heavy sometimes, but in a good way, in a real way. We're talking about bad incidents today. Things that go wrong, accidents, mistakes, difficult moments, and how to talk about them in English.
Yeah, and look, this matters, because if you only learn English for happy situations, you're only half ready. Real life needs real language.
Exactly. So, Henry, let's just start simple. What is a bad incident, actually?
Well, it's when something goes wrong, unexpectedly usually. An accident, a conflict, something breaking, something being lost, someone getting hurt. It can be big, it can be small, but it's a moment that stands out because it wasn't supposed to happen.
Right. And in English, we have so many ways to talk about these moments. Like, the vocabulary alone is interesting. You can say, something happened, which is very general, or you can say, there was an incident, which sounds a little more official, or something went wrong, which is very natural and very common in spoken English.
And listeners, quick question for you. Think about one small bad incident from your week. Just one. Maybe you spilled your coffee. Maybe you missed a bus. Maybe you said the wrong thing to someone. Got one in your head? Good. We'll come back to that.
Okay, so Henry, I want to start with a story because I think stories make this feel real. Can I tell one?
Please.
Okay, so this is a little embarrassing, but a few years ago, I was in a cafe. Busy place, lots of people. And I was carrying this massive cup of coffee and a bag and my phone, and I was trying to do too many things at once, which honestly is so me. And I walked right into someone, a stranger, and the coffee, all of it, went directly onto their white shirt. I mean, perfectly, like I aimed. Henry, I wanted to disappear.
Oh, no.
And the worst part is, my brain completely forgot English for like 3 seconds. I just stood there, making a face. And then finally, I said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't see you." Which, okay, yes, that's correct English. But the look on that person's face? It was fine. They were nice about it. But that moment, that pause where I forgot words, that's what today's episode is for. So nobody freezes like I did.
And you know, that story actually shows something important. When a bad incident happens, emotions hit first, and emotions can block language. So the more you practice these phrases before you need them, the easier it comes out when you're actually stressed.
Yes. So listeners, let's practice right now. Say this with us. Ready? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Say it out loud. Don't just read it. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Good. That phrase is gold. It's simple, it's sincere, it's natural. You can use it in almost any situation where you caused an accident or made a mistake.
Now, let's talk about describing what happened, because sometimes you're not the one who made the mistake. Sometimes you're telling someone else what went wrong. And this is where English learners often struggle, because storytelling in English has a flow to it.
Right. So the basic structure is what was happening, then what went wrong, then what happened after. Simple, but powerful.
For example, you could say, I was walking to work, and suddenly a car came out of nowhere and hit a bicycle right in front of me. That's past continuous for the background, I was walking, and then simple past for the event, a car hit a bicycle.
Ooh, and listeners, this is actually a grammar moment hidden inside a real conversation. Did you catch that? Henry just used two tenses together naturally. I was walking and a car hit. That's how we tell stories in English. The background action uses was plus verb plus ing, and the sudden event uses simple past.
Exactly. And it sounds so natural when you do it that way. It gives the listener a picture. They can see it.
Okay, try this. Say it with us. I was sitting at my desk, and suddenly the lights went out. Say it.
I was sitting at my desk, and suddenly the lights went out.
Perfect. That's real English storytelling. And it works for any bad incident, small or big.
Now, I want to talk about something slightly different, because not all bad incidents are accidents. Some are situations, conflicts, misunderstandings, and those are actually harder to talk about.
Say more.
Well, think about a time you had an argument with someone, or a time someone treated you badly, or a time you made a decision that hurt someone, even by accident. Those stories are harder to tell because they involve feelings and blame and, relationships.
Yeah, that's true. And I think a lot of learners avoid those stories in English because they're already complicated in their first language. Like, how do you even begin?
You can start with something like, something difficult happened between me and a friend, or there was a misunderstanding at work. These phrases don't give everything away immediately, but they open the door.
And they're honest without being dramatic, which I love.
And then you can say what happened step by step. First, I said something that I thought was fine, but they took it the wrong way. And then things got uncomfortable.
Listeners, have you ever been in that situation where you said something and the other person completely misunderstood you? Write in the comments yes or no. And if you want, tell us what happened. We really do read them.
We really do.
Okay, so Henry, I want to talk about a slightly harder thing now. Because sometimes bad incidents aren't just awkward moments. Sometimes they're genuinely painful. A loss, an accident that changed something, a moment you can't take back. And I think English learners deserve the language for those moments too.
Yeah, you're right. And I think this is actually the part most language courses skip. They teach you how to order food and make plans, but they never teach you how to say, something really hard happened to me.
Exactly. So some phrases that might help. You can say, it was a really difficult time for me, or I'm still processing what happened, or it wasn't easy, but I got through it. These are real phrases. People use them, and they carry weight.
And there's something important about the phrase, I got through it. Because it doesn't say the thing was small. It doesn't pretend it was easy. It just says, I survived it. I'm still here.
I like that a lot, actually. I got through it. That's 3 words and so much meaning.
Say it, listeners. I got through it.
Say it like you mean it, because maybe you're saying it about something real right now.
And if you are, we hope you know that's genuinely something to be proud of.
Okay, lighter moment, because Henry and I were talking before this episode, and he told me a bad incident story that I cannot let him hide. Henry,
Oh no.
tell them.
Okay, fine. So this is not my proudest moment. I was giving a presentation at work. Very important meeting, lots of people. And I had prepared everything. Slides, notes, the whole thing. And right as I started talking, I realized I had been mispronouncing one of the key words in my presentation the entire time I was practicing. And the first person to correct me was my boss, in front of everyone.
What was the word?
I'm not telling.
Henry.
Absolutely not. But the point is, I had to just keep going. I said, thank you, you're right, and I kept presenting. And actually, that moment, as terrible as it felt, it taught me something. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep going.
And honestly, that is such an important message for English learners, because so many people stay quiet because they're afraid of making mistakes. But Henry just proved even teachers make mistakes, even in important moments.
And the world did not end.
The world did not end. Listeners, say this with us. I made a mistake, but I kept going.
I made a mistake, but I kept going.
That is today's most important phrase. Hold on to it.
All right, so let's talk about some vocabulary, words and phrases that are really useful when talking about bad incidents in English.
Yes, let's do a quick natural run through.
Okay. Incident. That means an event, usually unexpected, often negative. There was an incident at the station this morning.
Accident. Something that happened without intention. It was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose.
On purpose, meaning intentionally. I didn't do it on purpose.
Go wrong. Things go wrong when they don't go as planned. Everything was going well, and then it all went wrong.
Deal with it, meaning to handle a problem. It was a difficult situation, but we dealt with it.
Get through it, meaning to survive or overcome something hard. I got through it.
It could have been worse. A phrase we use to find a silver lining. I missed my flight, but it could have been worse.
Oh, that one's very useful. And very British, actually. Very look on the bright side.
Ha, very true. And listeners, which of these phrases was new for you? Write it in the comments. Even one word counts.
And try to use it in a sentence. That's your comment challenge for today.
Now, I want to bring up something that I think is interesting and maybe a little surprising. The way different cultures talk about bad incidents is actually very different.
Oh yes, this is so true.
In some cultures, you talk very openly about what happened. Every detail, who said what, how you felt. In other cultures, you keep it brief. You say something happened, you move on. And neither way is wrong.
But when you're speaking English, especially in international or professional settings, there's a kind of middle path. You acknowledge what happened, you explain it clearly, and then you either look for a solution or you close the topic politely.
Right. You don't have to over-explain, but you also can't just say something happened and leave people confused. The magic phrase for closing a difficult topic gracefully in English is something like, anyway, that's in the past now, or, but we sorted it out, or it worked out in the end.
These phrases signal to the listener that the story is done and things are okay now. Very useful socially.
Very. Listeners, here's a question for you. In your culture, when something bad happens, do people talk about it openly or do they keep it private? There's no right answer, we're just curious. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, genuinely curious. Okay, so we are getting close to the end of today's episode, and I want to do one more little practice moment before we wrap up.
Go for it.
Okay, listeners, I'm going to describe a bad incident, and I want you to respond in your head or in the comments using one of the phrases we talked about today. Ready?
Ready.
So, you were running late for something important, and on the way, you tripped and dropped everything you were carrying. Your bag opened, your things went everywhere, and a few people saw it happen. What do you say? What do you do?
A few good options. You could say, I'm okay, it was just an accident. Or you could say to someone who helps you, thank you so much, I was in such a rush. Or later, you could tell someone, I had such a terrible morning, everything went wrong.
And all of those are real. All of those are natural. And now you have them ready.
Because the worst time to learn a phrase is when you need it.
Exactly. Okay, homework time. And it's a gentle one, I promise.
In the comments below, write about one small bad incident from your life. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe you missed a bus, maybe you broke something, maybe you said the wrong thing. Just 2 or 3 sentences. What happened and what did you do?
Use at least one phrase from today. It was an accident. Things went wrong. I got through it. Anything. We'll read them.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We make these episodes for you, and having you here genuinely means a lot to us.
It really does. This little space we're building together, it means something.
It does.
And next week is a good one. We're going back to school. Literally. We're talking about school memories, funny teachers, embarrassing classroom moments, that one exam you'll never forget.
I already have stories ready.
Of course you do. So come back for that. It's going to be warm and funny and maybe a little nostalgic.
Take care of yourselves this week.
And remember, I made a mistake, but I kept going. That one's yours now. Use it. See you next time on Easy English Space.